What's up YouTube, Dad here for Zephyr Wargames, bringing you a very interesting, fun deck profile, and that is ABC Ojamas with the ability of getting into this guy, number S0 Utopic Zexal. This deck is very fun because it basically uses ABC as an engine while also using the capabilities of the Ojama engine to search out the pieces more consistently and quickly than the rest, and then filling the board with a Buster Dragon, which we know is probably one of the most powerful fusion monsters around, on top of the ability of the Nightmares to get additional draws and discards, and then of course going into Utopic Zexal to finish off and lock your opponent down for an entire turn. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through this deck profile, show you what we've got. So I've changed this down. This deck profile came from Luke. Now you might remember Luke, who did us a Exodia deck profile. He's also done Spiral deck profiles as well for us. So he's got some very interesting ideas, and this was another one that he kind of put together, played at this weekend's local, and I found very fun and interesting. I've changed it. I've dropped two cards now. I've dropped Monster Reborn and a second Ravine in this profile because it was a 44 card deck, and I think there is room in this deck to be cut down to a 40 and possibly add Monster Reborn back in, because we know that card can be incredibly powerful with Buster Dragon. So without further ado, I'll take you through the profile, show you what we've got and explain why we've got it. So we've got 2A, 2B and 2C. Now the reason we've got two of each of these is because you search them very consistently, but the deck does not rely on Buster Dragon, so these are alternate routes to play through. You don't play Desire, so you don't worry about banishing them, and they can get very cloggy, but you do have the ability with the Nightmares to discard these with ease and push your plays further forward. Then for the Ojamas, we've got 2 black, 2 yellow and 2 green. Now I am waiting on my second green to come along, so apologies, that is just a token there to fill in the space. Now again, you don't want 3 of these, they will become very cloggy, but what Ojamas do is, using and abusing the spells of the Ojamas, you get to search out multiple copies of themselves. You can also use and abuse their effects to recycle them, special summon them back to the board, and of course loop around to help build your Nightmares to push further forward into your Buster Dragon. On top of that, some of the Ojama cards also help you go into Zexal, as well as searching out your A, Bs and Cs for your plays, and once we get to those spells I'll explain why. We've then got triple Scorpio and 1 Cobra. Now you could argue, if there's space in the deck, if you can find the space, I'd probably drop Scorpio down to 2 and then put in the Lone Fire Blossom to help you with a deck fin ability as well. But you've got to be very careful in that census. But 3 and 1, now this obviously contributes towards your Zexal play, as well as giving you additional summons to go into your Buster play as well, getting it into your Brilliant Fusion. Of course, we've got the Gem Knight Lazuli. This is just an alternate to Garnet because it can recycle your Ojamas should you need to. And then of course you do have your Garnet. And then you've got your Trick Clown that you send off of your Brilliant Fusion, and this then helps you get into your Zexal play. So Zexal is kind of like a first turn lockdown for your opponent, and then turn 2s and onwards you go into your Buster Dragon plays, or you OTK and finish your opponent off. The one Destruder, again, to help you push through your plays, going into your Link monsters like your Nightmares, as well as getting dragons into the grave or having discard ability for your A, Bs and Cs. And I want Armoured Dragon level 3. This card is very good because you play it off of Ojama Match. You search out an Ojama from your deck, and then you get to search out an Armed Dragon from your graveyard or from your deck, and then you get to normal summon them with that effect after that card resolves. So you then get to normal summon one of these. Ideally you're going into your Armored Dragon, and that then pushes you into your number 71 Rebronian Shark to push you into your Utopic Zexal play as well. Moving on to the spells, we've got triple Ojama Magic. Now, you want to see this in your open hand, so if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, which you can do with your Nightmares, you add 1 each of Ojama green, yellow and black from your deck to your hand. Now obviously this is very consistent in the sense that you can shuffle your Ojamas back into your deck, which is very important. Triple Ojama Assimilation. Reveal 1 Light Machine Fusion monster from your extra deck, Buster Dragon, and banish any number of Ojama monsters from your hand, face up from the field and or graveyard. Special summon fusion materials with different names whose names are specifically listed on that card revealed from your hand, deck and or graveyard, equal to the number of monsters banished to activate this effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, draw 1. This searches you out, or special summons even better, your A, B and C. So this is a 1 card Buster Dragon if you've got your Ojamas either in your hand, field or grave. Which 9 times out of 10 you probably will. Just imagine getting rid of this off of a nightmare, going into Assimilation, activate Assimilation. You've already got your green, black and yellow in your hand. Assimilation, do the 3 of those, get your A, B and C on board. Link up if you need to. You can go straight into a link 4 with those, or you can do even more. If you've got a nightmare on that's a link 2, so you go to a link 3, then to a link 2, get them into the graveyard, banish them, you've got a Buster Dragon plus 2 link monsters on board. Incredibly powerful. Triple Ojama match. Send 1 Ojama card from your hand or face up from the field to the graveyard. Pretty sure this counts. Add to your hand 1 Ojama monster with a different name and 1 armed dragon monster from your deck and or graveyard. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 of those monsters during your main phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into deck, draw 1 card. So again, incredibly powerful and recycles all the Ojamas you need. And then on top of that, gives you that normal summon after the resolution. So if you don't get into your Brilliant Fusion, you do have other alternatives to push your board further forward. Then of course, speaking of which, triple Brilliant Fusion, triple Terraforming, 1 Hanger. Now this I questioned with Luke myself. The reason you got 1 is because of some Assimilation special summons them. So it doesn't just search them, it special summons them. So you can search for discard ability, which is when you only play 1. You could argue you take out a Terraforming and go for a second Hanger. And then he did play 2 Ravines, I've dropped it down to 1. Again, you can argue that it should be 2 Hanger, 1 Ravine and 3 Terraforming, but this worked for Luke, so I'm not going to mess around on his side. Just as personal preference, that's probably the ratios I'd want to change up. 1 Soul Charge, which can be busted in A, B, C. Your 1 Rank Up Magic Astral Force, this is your card that gets you into your Utopic Zexal. And then 2 really, really funny Ojama cards of Ojama Pajama. If an armed dragon monster and or a light machine fusion monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 Ojama card from your hand, face up on the field or graveyard instead. You can only use each of the following effects of Ojama Pajama once per turn. So, you can protect your card as many times as you have Ojamas in your hand, field, or grave, but you get to use these effects only once per turn, and that is during your main phase, add 1 Ojama card from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, special summon as many of your banished Ojama monsters as possible. 9 out of 10, you're probably working with its first effect of during the main phase, add an Ojama card, because again, Ojama card is Ojama Magic, Ojama Simulation, and Ojama Match, because they all have Ojama in the name. It's not word specific. Very, very important, very, very powerful, and very, very helpful for this crazy fun deck. Like, I mean, I absolutely love Ojamas. They're always the comical little guys in the deck and in the game as general. And now we get to use and abuse them in a relatively powerful deck. So, speaking of which, moving on to the extra deck now, we've got 2 ABC Buster Dragon. Again, because the main soul and out of this deck isn't Buster Dragon, 2 is more than enough. You can put 3 in if you want to focus on it a little bit more. That is entirely down to you. Monster Reborn probably comes in more relevant right now in this sense. So do try and find, if I find the space, I will update it for you guys. But right now, 2 is more than enough. 1 Gem Knight Seraphonite to go with your Brilliant Fusion, that's quite self-explanatory. Your number 71 Ribarian Shark, this is very, very important, so it requires 2 level 3 monsters. Once per turn, if this card has material, you can target 1 number XYZ in your graveyard, accept itself, special summon it, and if you do, attach 1 material, blah, 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 blah. If this card is sent to the graveyard, including Link summoned, as used in as Link fodder, you choose 1 rank up magic spell from your deck and place it on top of your deck. So, the whole idea is you link this, or you make this with your Scorpion and Cobra, or your Armored Dragon if you need to. Go into this, then use this as Link fodder to go into one of your Nightmares. If you've got an additional Link monster, of course, go into Underclock Taker, then move into your Nightmares, discard, draw. But eventually you'll get into one of your Nightmares to discard, draw the rank up magic you've put on top of your deck. And then all you need, because you've used this off of your Brilliant Fusion, you'll have your Trick Clown on board, and you can move your place further forward that way, get into your Utopia, then discard your rank up magic and go into Zexal. It's more of a gimmick than it is a consistency, but if you do open up the hand to play this guy and get this guy off, do it. It shuts your opponent down completely. Then we've got the Nightmare package of Griffin, Unicorn, Goblin, Cerberus and Phoenix. Of course, if you want to, you can take Cerberus out for Mermaid. Really depends on how worried you are about getting ibbed. We've then got the 1 Underclock Taker, the 1 Skull Dread, and then 2 cards that are up for grabs. You can put whatever you want in right now. And we've got Deco Talker and Borrowload. Now, Borrowload, in my personal opinion, is an incredibly powerful Link 4. You can put Firewall in this deck because the amount of times you'll be linking up. If you get Firewall on early enough, you can use and abuse that ability. And you can also put Tri-Gate Wizard in as well. So it does give you a couple of options to play around with. Like I said, when it comes to the extra deck, it does come down to personal preference. But of course, with this lineup, your Nightmares are pretty much staple from Phoenix, Goblin, and Unicorn. And then, of course, staple is your Zexal, Utopia, and Shark for your Zexal play. And then staple is your Strathonite, Buster, and 2 Busters. So this stack here, in my opinion, these 9 cards are your staple 9. Your remaining 6 are entirely up to you. I do say that Underclock should definitely be in there. You still have 5 spaces to play around with and do with as you choose. So it does come down to personal preference. Other than that, that is it for the deck profile. I find this deck very, very fun to play around with. Certainly gives you a lot to think about. And gives you different angles for the ABC and definitely an Ojama deck to take. So it gives the bite, sorry, of so it allows Ojamas to have a bite in the deck to go into a 3k beat monster, but then also allows the consistency to get your A, Bs and Cs into the graveyard to make Buster Dragon, as well as move plays further forward with the Nightmares, and of course shutting your opponent down with Zexal. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. Also, YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.